Hi, I'm Kate Warren. This video tip is about a simple concept that you can use to increase the power of your relationships and your network. Whether you're working perhaps in a large corporate in a senior role where you need to develop and manage what gets called stakeholder relationships, or like me, you're a business owner reliant on a network of recommendations and referrals, or whether you're just, a person who's out there perhaps experimenting with social media, developing their own network of contacts and wanting to further their career. In whatever circumstance you find yourself, I wonder how often you really think about developing and sustaining a network of relationships. Now, the way I think about this is to think, look after your relationships and your relationships will look after you. Now, whether you're employed, self-employed, running your own company, however you're working, all of us need to develop a network of advocates in order to ensure that we're really able to create the success that we want. Now, in large corporate life, this gets called stakeholder relationships. That means developing and building relationships within your peer group and above, causing people to think that you're, a good thing within the organization, kind of getting your face out there. People often will call it, raising their profile. And I know some of us also go to maybe external networking events, or if we're coaches like me, we spend our time going to networking events in order to drum up business and raise that professional profile. I think rather than subjecting yourself to spending time with people you don't know and aren't sure you want to know, it's sometimes helpful just to start closer to home and to think about, what are we really trying to achieve here? Well, the way I think about this is really to think about developing a reputation. If you work for yourself, as I do, you want to have an immaculate reputation so that people are entirely confident to recommend both you and the work that you do. And you'll develop that immaculate reputation by the way that you do the work that you do, but also by the attention that you give to your personal relationships. So here are some examples that are going to work well for you, whether you're employed, perhaps in large corporate life or in a smaller organization, or whether like me, you're running your own company and building a business based on who you are and what you offer. Here are some places to start. Why not look within your industry? Who do you know who's really going places that you'd like to hang out with and develop a relationship with? And how could you do that? Not just for what you could gain from that relationship or even from what you could offer, but just purely on the basis of creating a friendship. In my own business, I identified a couple of years ago that Nick Williams does amazing work with his business, Inspired Entrepreneur. And I knew I wanted to hang around it and I wanted to be a part of it. And Nick was someone whose advice and wisdom I wanted to be able to access. And because I really loved what he was doing with his business, I wanted also to help him if I could. And from getting to know each other, a really rich relationship has developed. How about also thinking about all of the people that you know already? How can you deepen those relationships and make them more meaningful, whether they're with colleagues, friends, suppliers, contacts? A great example of this is my off-and-on coach and great friend, Maureen Simon, who runs a very impressive business consulting service for women in the US. And you can find out more about her at theessentialfeminine.com. Maureen I engaged as my coach for a 6-month period several years ago. She was recommended to me by my friend Natalie Turner, and I had a wonderful experience of working with Maureen. And since then, for me, she has been exemplary at maintaining our relationship by just dropping me a "Hi, how are you?" email every now and then. We have a catch-up phone call from time to time, and I engage her as my coach on a quarterly basis throughout the year, still on an ongoing basis. What's so great about the way Maureen stays in contact with me is, she never tries to sell me anything. She takes a genuine interest in me and she makes herself available to me. And because of that, I've recommended her to many, many people and sent many, many referrals her way. And it's been great for her business. For me, that's something I can really role model and take into my own business. A third area for you maybe to think about is, who do you come into contact with who's not really your customer or your stakeholder, but who still has an impact on your reputation? And I'm going to make a special plea in this respect. Alicia Cowan, who works with me, I know loves it when I mention this because of the roles that she's done in the past. So I'm going to say to you, think about the support staff in the organizations you encounter and how you can take time to create relationships with them. Think about how you can be perhaps a little less grabby for what you can get for yourself and a little bit more palm up about what you can offer people who often get overlooked. So in my work, the relationships that I have with PAs and support staff and assistants are critical to the success of my company, and I give them just as much care as I give any other relationship I have. My friend Chuck Blakeman, who's an outstanding business consultant in the US, says, quit networking and build a network. And that's really what I'm suggesting that you do, whether it's inside your organization, outside of your organization, on behalf of your own company, or just as yourself. Instead of getting out there and networking with an end goal in mind, mixing with strangers and trying to sell them something or promote yourself, why not concentrate instead on building a network of relationships that you enjoy that can be sustaining both for you and for your business. Make friendships, and those friendships will look after you. I hope this tip's been helpful for you. You can find out more about the communication skills work that I do at www.brightconsultancy.com.